press, open, close, release, and that's how it's going to be like 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello and welcome back to Life as Usual. On today's episode we are going to learn how to bleed the rear brake calipers. Why are we going to do so? Because if you notice, in our previous episodes we did multiple jobs such as replacing the parking brakes, and in the process we have removed the brakes, of course, and we have removed the calipers, and we repainted the calipers, and we refurbished, well, we did multiple things in the back. Whether you did this job before or you didn't do any of the jobs that we did before, it's good to bleed the rear parking brakes every, I would say, 2 to 3 years, because the parking brake fluid actually can gather some moisture and water inside, and you don't want water, you just want pure brake fluid in the reservoir, and actually even in the lines, okay? So you want to have a proper pressure, so you're able to put the pressure on the brakes alone. So with that in mind, let's bleed those brakes. Sorry, mind the sounds behind us. It's a sunny day and everyone is outside playing, and remember, we are walking on our driveway. So number one, we have to, of course, raise the vehicle and remove wheels, the left and right rear wheels, so we can bleed the calipers. If you want to learn how we did that, we have already made videos about this before, and Alex is going to help me to put the card somewhere around here, Alex, and maybe put the link in the description so we can show you how we raise them. So now it's ready. So the wheel, there's no wheel here, and we have access to the caliper. So what we need to do is there's a plug in the back that we need to access to remove that plug and then bleed the brakes from there. While you're working on the brakes, you might as well check the brake lines and make sure everything is okay with it. There's no leakage or anything like that from any connection, and it's all working well, because we are going to work on it anyway. So now that we have raised the car and we make sure the brake lines are all okay and safe, next we need to access to the reservoir, the brake fluid reservoir, which is located here. So this is the brake fluid reservoir. What we need to do next is to unplug this cable, and that is the reservoir sensor, okay? And after that, we have to remove the cap and make sure we don't drip brake fluid. So we're going to use a tissue, just quickly put it here and put it somewhere safe. So today we are going to be using the brake fluid by, I'm not going to mention the brand because it's actually, they're not sponsoring us, but we are going to use a generic brake fluid, which is .4 ESP. ESP stands for Electronic Stability Program, Electronic Stability Program, because of course we have the stability program here in our Range Rover, so that's why we're not just using a .4, we are going to use a .4 ESP. I'm going to put it in a smaller bottle, it's just easier for us to fill it in. So the first thing we need to do after we remove the cap is we need to fill it in to maximum, okay? And I will show you how to find the maximum line. So we are going to fill the reservoir to maximum. Maximum is right here. If you look closely, there says max and you have an arrow just right there. And that's where we're going to fill the reservoir to. So this is a lid from brake cleaner. I'm going to use it to cover the reservoir because I don't want dirt to go in. That's all, okay? This is an additional step. You can do it or not do it, it's up to you, but I don't want dirt to go in because it's dusty. We are going to start from the furthest away from the reservoir to the closest to the reservoir. What does that mean? So the reservoir is over here. So we are going to start with the caliper furthest away, which is over there. And then we are going to move to this caliper over here. Now, if I'm working on the front brakes as well, after I finish the rear, I would move to the front and I would move to this caliper here, which is furthest away on the front. And then I would move to the closest one here. So that's how it works. You start from the furthest away to the closest one, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. Next, I have to locate the bleed screw. The bleed screw is, this is the caliper, and if you come closer, it's right over there. Usually, there's a dust cap on top of it. I have removed the dust cap, and I've put a tube into a bleed jar, and I put a little bit of brake fluid inside, okay? And I connected it. Now, the tube must be immersed into the brake fluid. The reason of doing so is because I don't want it to suck air back in. So I want air to go out, but not to go back in. So if you were to suck anything back in, it would be brake fluid not air. So at all times, we have to make sure the brake fluid is on maximum, okay? We cannot not have a brake fluid in the reservoir. We always have to have brake fluid in the reservoir. Now, the next job requires 2 people. The ideal scenario, or what's supposed to happen, is Alex is going to press on the brakes. I'm going to release the brake fluid from the back. The brake fluid is going to come out, and then I'm going to tighten it. Alex is going to release on the brake, okay? So held back from the brake, and then she's going to press again. I'm going to release the fluid, and the fluid will come out. The reason why we do this is we cannot introduce air inside the brake fluid, okay? And this is the same reason why we need to have the brake fluid reservoir always full. To repeat myself, so it's easier to understand. Press, open, close, release.
How many times do we do it?
We have, for the rear wheels, we have to do them 28 times. And for the front wheels, we have to do them 10 times. Each caliper. So 28 times there, 28 times there. We have the window open, and we're going to keep the communication open all the time. Press, open, close, release. And that's how it's going to be like. Alex, are you ready?
Yes.
Perfect. So Alex is ready. So I'm going to open it. Okay. Now it's open. Are you ready to pump?
Yes.
Perfect. Now pump the brake pedal. 1.
Done.
I'm going to close it. Okay. Pump again.
So depress?
Depress and press again.
Okay. Yeah.
2. Again. 3. 8.
Done.
One more for good luck.
Done.
And that's it. So press again, Alex. Press and hold.
Yeah.
I'm gonna open. Perfect. Okay. So that's done from this side. Now we go ahead and do the other side. We're gonna turn all the cameras off, and we're gonna reset on the other side. But we're going to make sure that the brake reservoir fluid is full. And now we are going to replicate what we did in the other side. Are you prepared to pump?
Yes.
Okay. Press.
1.
Wow, this one is super dirty. Release.
Yeah.
Press. Wow. So we are going to use the torque wrench to torque it into 10 Newton meter. Now this one had the sensor on it, so remember we need to put the sensor back, okay, before we complete it, or after we torque it actually, which is like this. So let me torque it in front of you, and then we are going to put the sensor piece here, the rubber, just on top of it, like so, and we're gonna put the dust cap, like that. That protects it, okay? Then we're gonna install this one back in. Now, after we do that, I know we discussed only we're going to bleed the rear brakes because we've worked here, but check this out. That's very, very dirty. And because of that, what we're going to do is we are going to bleed the front brakes as well. Okay, we're gonna show you in this video, even though we said that we're gonna do the rear ones only, we are going to do the front one as well while we're here, might as well. So with that in mind, let's do it. We're not gonna be a detail, it's gonna be just a quick one. We're gonna reverse, turn the car around and raise that from the front and do the front wheels. Okay, let's do that.
Like a bird on a tree, I'm just sitting here. I got time, it's clear to see. From up here, the world seems small. We can sit together. It's so beautiful, you and me. Meant to be.
So don't turn the car on, but just the ignition on. Now press on the brake. 1, release, press, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Release. Press. 10. Remember, do not turn the car on. Now, press on the brake. Stay pressed, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, repeat, 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 repeat,
10,
repeat,
11.
repeat. Okay, stop now. So now that we have bled the rear and the front brakes, as you've seen us doing, we did take the car out into a car park, into a level surface, and we did top it reservoir up into maximum. We have to make sure it's on the max line. Hence, that's why the car is in a different direction, because we're still working on the car. So once you complete the topping up, while it's on the max, while you're there at the car park, you go on the video, click subscribe, like, and comment if you like this video, and we'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.